Hi, I'm Stevee Dee, owner and operator of Night Sky Sound here in Los Angeles, synthesist, sound designer. Welcome back to my show. Today we're going to talk about another Moog synthesizer, and this one is one of my favorites. This is the Moog, Moog the Source or the Moog Source. People say it many different ways, but I call it the Moog Source. It was the first Moog synthesizer to ever have a CPU on board. Most Moog synthesizers, especially in the 70s and 80s, did not have a computer. They were all analog and did not have a memory, did not have a computer to scan the parameters. As you can see, this has no buttons. It has no knobs. It's all panel page. It's membrane switches. And it has one giant data knob. So you call up the parameters, and then you use the giant data, the data knob to change the parameters. So saves a lot of money in hardware, so that you can put a computer in here and also have a 16 patch memory. So this was the first synthesizer because of the computer to enable snapshots of your patches, and it had a whopping 16 patch memory. So still a vast improvement over any of the other Moog monophonic synths. So yes, this is monophonic, very similar architecture to the Mini Moog. It's two oscillators. It has a modulation generator with it's a square wave, a pulse wave, or it's a triangle wave. And this can be assigned to the oscillator or the filter. We have glide or portamento. We have a beautiful Moog low-pass, 4-pole low-pass filter. We actually have a noise generator on board. So the mixer here can mix between oscillators 1, oscillator 2, and the noise. So you can have all three or just one. You can turn them all off and just feed back the filter with the resonance and have a sine wave, which is kind of cool. Opens up the doors to some really cool sound design. And again, the ubiquitous two envelope generators, one for the filter, one for the VCA. So this one is original. I'm the original owner. I bought this at a music store in Boston in the 80s, and they found it in their warehouse. It was new old stock, basically, in 1987, because this was made from 1981 to about 1985. This was the penultimate product that Moog Music had before they went out of business. So it was the Source, and then, of course, the Memory Moog was the final product from the original Moog Music Company. So this was the penultimate. And this did not have MIDI. It was before, this was built before MIDI. However, we are going to retrofit this with an Encore MIDI kit. What I failed to mention before is that this one is sick. It's, I'm the original owner, and it's never been restored. And it's calling out to me for a restoration. It's working intermittently. The tuning is funky. The wheels, the wheels are not operating as they should. These buttons here, the octave buttons are sticky. The keyboard seems fine. And I can go up and down the keyboard, and all the keys seem to be working fine. But I had to tap it a few times as the audio was dropping in and out. So there's intermittent connections in here. Probably needs the electrolytic capacitors need to be replaced, and it needs some TLC. But the fact that it did turn on and it is working is a good sign. So once again, I love this synthesizer because of its cool architecture. It's incredibly fat. Yeah, we will do some of the newer Moog synthesizers as part of our series. Again, this is just an overview. We will get deeper into this in other episodes. However, you can clearly hear the difference between old school components, through-hole components, discrete oscillators. I'm not saying this is 100% discrete, but it does have a lot more discrete components than some of the newer analog synths made today. The newer analog synths made today are mostly it's surface mount technology. The components are a lot smaller, a lot more compact. There's a lot more chips going on, a lot more VLSIs, a lot more integrated circuits, a lot less of that in here, and it makes a big difference in the sound. This was touted as a mini Moog without, I should say, this was touted as a mini Moog with memory. So this was supposed to be replace a mini Moog. I don't think it quite does. Nothing sounds like a mini Moog. This is close. I mean, and these oscillators are really fat. There's two of them. Mini Moog has three, but this has two oscillators, audio oscillators, and a dedicated modulation generator, which a lot of people on the mini Moog will use the two oscillators and put the third oscillator into sub mode and use that as an LFO, low frequency oscillator, to modulate pitch, filter, and whatever. So this has a dedicated modulation generator or a dedicated LFO and two audio oscillators. As Moog Music saw, that was the most common use of the three oscillators on the mini Moog. The filter is incredible. It's the 4-pole low pass Moog ladder filter, and what else can I say? An amazing synthesizer. We will show it once again, once it's been restored, after I go through it with a fine-tooth comb and bring it back to factory spec or better. And that's one thing we do here at Night Sky Sound. Many famous people use this. It's been used on countless new wave records, English Invasion records, from the early 80s. And I mean, people still use this today. I can't even name all the people. I will name one. And my favorite use of this is by an artist that I love and revere, Thomas Dolby. He used this for the bass sound on She Blinded Me with Science. So if you listen to She Blinded Me with Science, the synth bass used on that record is a source. And also, they fed back the filter. They turned off the oscillators, and they fed back the filter to get a sine wave, and then they layered that in the studio to get that funky modular phone sounding sound effect. You can hear it clearly in the record. If you listen to the record, you'll know what I'm talking about. So, very cool sound design synth, fat, great basses, great leads, and I can't wait to get this back up and running to 100%, and I can't wait to take you guys on a sonic journey through some of the cool things that this thing can do. Once again, thanks for tuning in again. www.nightskysound, Instagram @nightskysound, and we'll see you guys real soon. Thank you.